Hello friends, how are you all? Once upon a time, there was a widowed gentleman who lived with his small daughter Cinderella. Once, one day he married a woman with two daughters, Anastasia and Drizella. Unfortunately, Cinderella's father died and she was left alone with her stepsisters, who soon revealed their true nature. Cinderella was forced to be servant in her own house. Many years passed like that, and then one day there was a letter from King. Cinderella heard her stepmother reading aloud to Anastasia and Drizella. All young girls in the kingdom were invited to a ball at the castle in honor of the prince. May I come as well? She asked politely. But of course, my dear, as long as you finish all your chores first, the stepmother answered with a cruel smile. Cinderella quickly found her mother's old dress. I need to alter this a bit, she decided, but first there were all the chores to do. As soon as she left, her friends Gus and Jack called together all Cinderella's friends. Poor Cinderella will never get time for that, but we can do it for her. They soon found ribbon and pearl discarded by the stepsisters, and is no time they Cinderella course took a long time, so she finally came back to her little attic room. She had given up all thoughts of going to the most wonderful ball. But as soon as she opened the door, she was met by happy chirping, and there was the dress, ever so beautiful. Thank you, said Cinderella to all her friends, and almost cried in joy. She happily hurried downstairs, but there she was met by her envious stepsisters. That ribbon is mine, shouted Drizella and started tearing it off. And that necklace is mine, screamed Anastasia. And in no time, the two stepsisters had torn Cinderella's dress completely to pieces, while their mother watched with a malicious smile. And then the three of them left for the ball. Cinderella ran out in the garden, crying her hearts out. But suddenly she was surrounded by the light, and there was her fairy godmother speaking to her. Come on, my sweet little girl, dry your tears away. Now let me see. You'll need a carriage and some horses and some servants. And then she used her magic wand. Finally, she turned it to Cinderella. Oh, I nearly forgot. You can't go to the ball in that dress. She, Finally, she turned it to Cinderella. Oh, I nearly forgot. You can't go to the ball in that dress, she exclaimed, and waved her magic wand so that a cloud of shimmering dust fell on Cinderella. Oh, how can I ever thank you, fairy godmother? Cinderella gasped when she saw the grasped. Oh, how can I ever thank you, fairy godmother? Cinderella gasped when she saw the magnificent ball dress. Don't thank me, just remember that the first stroke of midnight, the spell is broken. As soon as Cinderella arrived at the ball, the prince took her hand and whirled her off in a waltz. Never in his life had he seen such a beautiful girl. They danced and danced, but suddenly Cinderella heard the clock strike midnight, and she rushed down the stair from the castle. "Why are you running? Please tell me your name," the prince shouted after her, but all that was left of the beautiful girl was a small glass shoe. Cinderella carried raced away. On the 12th stroke, the spell was broken and everything was like before, except for one thing. Cinderella had the other glass shoe. The next morning, the king's servant was sent out to find the girl who had lost the shoe. He soon arrived at Cinderella's house, where the stepsisters were anxious to make their large feet fit into the dainty shoe. "Are these two the only young girls here?" he asked, hoping not to have any more fitting sessions with such awful girls. "Yes, they are," replied the evil stepmother. Just then there was a cry from Cinderella, "Please let me try it." Oh, paid no attention to her. "She is just a servant," said the stepmother, but the king's servant smiled at Cinderella and let her try the shoe. "It fits," he shouted in joy. "This lovely girl is our prince's bride." The whole kingdom, except three, celebrated the happy news, and soon after Cinderella and the prince had a romantic wedding, and they lived happily ever after.